And today I'm going to introduce you to Albrey Grimsley. She has a pretty interesting background: athlete, coach, now real estate investor. But I guess I'm telling you too much. Albrey, please introduce yourself, kind of give your history, how you started with real estate, and your background, essentially.
As far as real estate goes, real estate started for me in college. Something I didn't talk too much about, because when you're doing something different than everybody else, you're weird. And I was perfectly fine with embracing the word weird, because I believe in success points, not pain points. So I was utilizing that as a success point for me. I was in college in a class, a leadership class at the time, and the college professor, right before class started, another college professor walked in, and he came in with a white t-shirt on, pair of jeans with a rip, like I think it was, pretty sure it was the right pants leg. And the teacher kind of stared and like, "Are you kidding me?" type look, but didn't say anything because you're in front of a bunch of kids. And he asked for a marker, and he gave him the marker. He reached in his briefcase, gave him the marker, and I could tell that the classroom setting changed the minute that other professor walked out. And the teacher went on, a bit of a rant about accredited investors. And I'm like, what is he talking about? At the same time, it made me want to listen. Because different to me is like, you better listen. Like, because if everybody's going left, ask yourself, why is everyone going left? Is that they're following, or is it because they see a potential success opportunity going left, as opposed to staying still, see what's going to take place? And he started talking about the average income of parents in this classroom, of your parents in this classroom, is over $300,000 a year. That's an accredited investor. There's no reason everyone in this classroom should not be successful in life, because you're already set up for success. He's like, I don't know any of your backgrounds or whatever your settings are, even if that's not your parents, net worth, or your parents, median income, but you better get to know somebody in this classroom because they can help you. He said, matter of fact, I'm going to help you. So he created a networking opportunity to where we literally were forced to kind of like network with each other in class. And I'm so thankful for it, because ultimately the person that he partnered me with, their parents invited me to their home for dinner one night after we were finishing up the leadership project. And it changed my life, because they were introducing me to parking garage. They owned a lot of commercial real estate. And I was asked, what would you do with this asset while I was sitting at the dinner table? So it wasn't a typical setting that I was accustomed to. I'm used to eating dinner, we're talking and things of that nature, but not talking about business at the dinner table. And ultimately, he said, well, what would you do with it? And I told him, you have a parking spot, you just sold it. That I think it was a couple from New York that he said they wanted the asset to live in, but they didn't want to park because they were from New York. They were going to walk the beach. That's why they were there. Ultimately, I said, I'll buy it. 19-year-old. I think I was turning 19 actually. And I said, I'll buy it. And he said, really? What are you going to do with it? I literally went on a tear of what I would do to add value to it. And he said, I'm literally paying my marketing team minimum $75K a year individually a piece. And I have 6 of them. None of them came up with any of those ideas. He said, you know what? I might take you up on your offer. He said, come back for dinner tomorrow night. And that was history. I got started in a parking space, or parking garage. And I talked to the bank manager of Bank of America and rented it out to them while I was in college. And we set it up because of the way college was set up for me and what I signed to attend college. I had to make sure that certain things were in place to where I was still fulfilling my duties on my end. But ultimately, we got everyone involved, my guardians and things of that nature, to where that certain things could be done, to where I was pretty much generating revenue while I was in college, but I could not touch it until I turned a certain age. So it still justified what I could do while I was in college and what I could not do. And I think that set me up for a lot, to know that I was creating my own cushion. It wasn't something I was calling home about. It also wasn't something I was talking about when I had an off day, at college, etc. I was going to tour assets. So when I was driving now, I wasn't just driving by places, looking at them, so, oh, that's a nice area. Why is it a nice area? What's the asset class? What's the unit type? Would I invest in that? Would I invest over there? What's the market analysis? Having those conversations with other college kids wasn't realistic, but there was one that I was partnered up with class I can have that conversation with. So really realizing that in college, I utilized and leveraged that opportunity that led into my commercial real estate journey. So I'm one of the rare individuals that never started in the residential space. I actually started in the commercial space.
Awesome. Well, that's a great journey. You didn't get into your athletic, journey, but I guess we'll sit aside for now. But she's also, I'll tell the viewers, she's also a coach. She's been a coach. She is very passionate about kids and their career and a lot of things. So maybe she'll get into it later. But anyway, so who can these days? Then you're in commercial real estate. Who can you help, and who would you like to connect?
I like to talk to the newer investor because I think there's so much free information out there. A lot of individuals think that someone else's journey is their journey. Who are you? Like I hear individuals talk about their why and why comprised of everyone but them. It's like once everyone's away and no one's in the house and it's just you for a week, if you ever get that, who are you? Who are you outside of family? Who are you outside of the ones you love? Who are you outside of work? When you start talking about whys and different things of that nature. So I'm all for everyone, like phenomenal individuals in general. I love to connect. But the newer investor, like it's when you're talking about a deal, for example, it's the deal, the debt, the equity. Everyone needs capital resources, and ultimately the biggest asset is people. And we don't value people enough. Like the apartments wouldn't be valuable when I get ready to go acquire one. The parking garage, a storage facility, none of those commercial assets, the home wouldn't be valuable if people didn't live in them. So the biggest asset to me is people, and definitely the newer investor, because ultimately don't just go quit your day job just because you heard someone say get out of the 9-to-5 rat race. Everyone's in a rat race. The question is, what type of cheese are you after? Find out who you are first, what it is that you're trying to achieve, how you're going to leverage it in your favor to where that you can create a journey and a life for not just yourself, but the others around you, and impact and add value to them. And more importantly, set a timeline to do that and be realistic and honest with yourself about certain things. Because I think the shiny object exists because so many individuals have a why about someone other than them. Right. You wouldn't have a shiny object if you actually knew who you were, what it is you stood for, what you answer to, what you would like to answer to, or what journey you would like to take. The shiny object goes away from there.
Gotcha. Awesome. Amazing. That's a great answer. So yeah, if you're a new investor or looking to probably get into real estate and you don't know how to, I guess you should talk to Albrey and, talk to her and see if you can do some business with her or she'll learn from her. She's, as I talk to her, she's, open connector. So even if you're experienced, you probably ought to reach out to her. Great person to talk to. And I'll be posting all the links and everything that I have from Albrey. So that way you can reach out to her. So Albrey, you had an incredible journey. Obviously, you started very young. So these days, what inspires you to get up and do what you do every day?
It's funny. When I work out in the morning, I wear all black, symbolizes a clean slate. So every day I start from zero and I build. And I build, because it's always about what have you done for me lately? Like no one cares what you've done yesterday. And I think too many individuals worry about what someone thinks or how someone's going to feel. Ask them a question. I'm big on communication. But for me, ultimately, when I leave the house, I say, off to conquer the world. And I say it until I get in the car and I close the door. And I truly mean it. I'm off to conquer the world. I have a sports academy, Life, Let's Invest in Future Education and Employment. I have a college prep private school. One of my business partners is called Youth Serve, youthserv.org. And we have a golf tournament coming up. So it's about serving in a different way. You can't always go into a community and think you're going to change something without knowing the local government, what's in place, sitting down with those individuals, just trying to impact others in a different way than the traditional, just saying, I'm going to give money philanthropy wise. There's other resources. I hear a lot of people say other people's money. What about other people's network? Like we all have different networks that can impact each other. We all have different mindsets that can impact each other. Right? So I want to talk to other people about their mindset and things of that nature, and not make everything a transactional when it comes to financial transaction. It needs to be more so of a personal foundation that's made, and that's what I like to do. For me, I started with kids, and with kids come parents, and so there's more contacts and more opportunities to where that you have the opportunity to impact, and not just today, but tomorrow and the future. And when you deal with kids, you get the opportunity to do that. So in my free time, that's my side passion. I don't believe in side hustles. I believe in side passions. I don't believe in pain points. I believe in success points. ultimately you can't expect something positive to take place or have a positive outcome if you're using non-positive words. So I don't believe in issues. I don't believe in problems. I believe in situations that require experiences that lead to solutions. And the more experiences you have in those situations, the more solutions that you have to apply and share with others.
Awesome. Oh, I don't know if I should ask the next question, but I'll ask the next question anyway, because I think the next question already been answered, but maybe she'll have a different one. All right. So what's the one tip? I mean, you had such an amazing career in real estate investment and all that stuff, and you do a lot of charities. What's the one tip you can share with others, professional, personal, that has helped you, that can help others?
Who are you? Find out who you are. When nobody's watching, who are you? Because ultimately, the things that we end up doing, going back to, it's the core of who we are. When you go along this journey, the more money you make, it only enhances who you really are. It doesn't change you. And I hear people love say, "Oh, this changed." That's no, it's who they were the whole time. You just weren't receiving who they were. But I would say find out who you are before you start taking certain journeys. Take certain things one day at a time, or everything one day at a time. Because ultimately, I'm a firm believer in success is a habit, not a goal. Therefore, it's a choice. I choose to hang around positive, impactful, influential individuals that will impact me and add value to me. And I try to do the same for others. I'm very big on discipline and structure. I'm very big on surrounding myself with individuals that will add value to me and not just take from me. So know your surroundings, know who you are, set timeline for your goals, actually set goals, and be intentional with your time and schedule your priorities. Don't let your priorities determine if they're high, medium, in progress. No, schedule your priorities and focus on the facts. A lot of individuals, they don't focus on the facts. They don't keep it simple. They don't know their personnel. But once you know who you are, you know who you should be surrounded by and who you want to be surrounded by, and your journey takes a different turn for the better.
Awesome. That's a great tip. Actually, there might be multiple tips in there, so maybe rewatch that one again. Awesome. Again, thanks for taking the time, Aubrey. And like I said, I'll be posting all the links, even her, charity ones, if you want to support her in that, venture too, please reach out to her. She's got three different things. I mean, great things going on there. So you should reach out if you're passionate about kids and all that stuff. So again, Aubrey, thanks for your time. Thank you again.
Thank you. You guys have a phenomenal day. It's always a great day to have a great day.
Exactly.